Hello and welcome to the nominee announcement for the 5th annual 2014 MTN Radio Awards. Now this much anticipated announcement is brought to you directly from the studios at the head office of our gracious host this morning, MTN. On that note, before we announce this year's chosen candidates, nominees and elite few, let's hear from the General Manager of Marketing, Communications and Operations for MTN SA, Teresa Butler.
Good day. MTN remains a proud sponsor of the annual MTN Radio Awards. Now, in our 5th year of partnership with the MTN Radio Awards, we are thrilled to witness the growth of the event as well as the steady increase in entries over the past 4 years. The awards present a unique opportunity for MTN to engage with all spheres of radio, from SABC radio stations, commercial, regional and community. This year's awards have very strong contenders with various radio stations from across PBS, commercial, community and campus being nominated for a number of categories. These awards give credit to those who deserve it. We look forward to finding out the nominees as we count down to radio's biggest night on the 12th of April 2014. Good luck to all the nominees for the 2014 MTN Radio Awards.
Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. An unprecedented number of entries were received, and after a rigorous selection and judging process, the list of nominees is setting a new record for this year's 2014 MTN Radio Awards. Categories have been arranged in alphabetical order, and the nominees for each category will also be announced alphabetically in order of the station names. Let's get right into it. Our first announcement is the coveted afternoon drive presenter. Now, the first group of this category is the campus radio. The nominees are, first up, Tshwane FM's Lady G, the off-ramp. Tuks FM 107.2's Wayne van Jaarsveld, The Drive Show. Tuks FM 107.2's Werner Botma and Cassie Clark, The Driveway. UJFM 95.4's Nicolay Karouche, or Nick Explicit as he is more popularly known, The Explicit Drive. And VOW FM's Voice of Wits, Gamagile Bavana, The Life Club. Next up, we have the nominees in the Best Afternoon Drive Presenter, Community Radio. The nominees are Impact Radio 103 FM's Thabo Mduli, Mix 93.8 FM's Darren Scott, balls.co.za on Mix 93.8 FM, Radio Islam's Yusuf Musaji, Your World Today, Radio Kwesi's Saziso Dlamini, Radio Tigerberg's Anton Trernich Vierfas. And that brings us to the end of the community radio nominees. Well done. We now move on to PBS Radio, and the nominees are Lesedi FM's Ria Kubaleta Batukada Lane. Next up, we have Ligwala Gwala FM's Dumisa Mavuso, Motsweding FM's Douglas Musadi Kenako, Pala Pala FM's Jimmy the Scratcher Zi A Orawa, and Torbela FM's Sikambuzo Mbata Ichiro Gele. The nominees for Afternoon Drive Presenter in commercial radio are 567 Cape Talk's John Matham Show, 5FM's DJ Fresh, The Fresh Drive, 94.7 Highveld Stereo's Anele, The Afternoon Drive Show, Hey, I Work With Her, East Coast Radio's Damon Beard, and finally, Jacaranda FM 94.2's Martin Bester Drive. We now move on to the category of Afternoon Drive Show. For campus radio, the nominees are MFM 92.6, The Drive, Tshwane FM's The Off-Ramp, Tuks FM 107.2's The Drive Show, and Tuks FM 107.2's The Driveway. Last but not least, UJFM 95.4's The Explicit Drive. The nominees for the Afternoon Drive Show in community radio are Mix 93.8 FM, balls.co.za, Kwakwa Radio's Siatlong, Radio Kwesi's 90 Minutes Drive, Radio Kwesi's Teen Talk, and finally, Radio Pulpit's 657 AM's Spectrum. In PBS Radio, the nominees are, first up, Lesedi FM, Ria Kubaleta, Motsweding FM, Kenako, Munganana Lonene FM, Mpense Mpense, Pala Pala FM, Zia A Orawa, and Radio 2000 Drive Time Experience. Moving to our nominees for the Afternoon Drive Show in commercial radio. Here we go. 567 Cape Talk's John Matham Show, East Coast Radio, The Drive with Damon, Good Hope FM's Ozone, Heart 104.9 FM's Drive 3 to 6 with Sugar, And last but not least, here we go, Jacaranda 94.2's Martin Bester Drive. That brings us to the end of our second category. Well done to the nominees so far. We now move on to one of the most sought after and hotly contested categories, Breakfast Show Presenter. The nominees for Campus Radio are Pick FM, VR van der Merwe, The Big Bang Breakfast. Tax FM, Nick Clitter, The Wake Up. Also Tax FM's Pindi and Bluli, The Bang Bang Breakfast. And UJFM's AB Da Costa, The Continental Breakfast. Well done, guys. The nominees for Community Radio Breakfast Show Presenter are Inanda 88.4 FM, Siabonga Seme. Radio Islam, Sulaiman Rawat with the Sabahul Muslim. Radio Kwezi, Makosi Mapamulo. And Radio Tygerberg, Anton Brink, Ochendroy. Moving now on to the nominees for PBS Radio. First up, Ligwala Gwala FM, Dumisane Dominic, DJ Moramane Similane, well done. Lotus FM, Neville Pillay, The Morning Rush. Motsodeng FM, Kabelo Molopane. And Umklobo Winwene FM, Pumzile Ntewi, The BEE Show. Well done to the nominees in PBS Radio. Lastly, our nominees for Commercial Radio, the Best Breakfast Show Presenter. This is a big one, have a listen. 94.5 KFM, Ryan O'Connor. 94.7 Highveld Stereo's Darren Simpson. Algoa FM, Darren Mann. East Coast Radio, Darren Moore. And our final nominee in this group is, drumroll please, Talk Radio 702's John Robbie. Naturally, we now announce the nominees for the Best Breakfast Show. For Campus Radio, the nominees are MFM, The MFM Breakfast Show. Pick FM, The Big Bang Breakfast. Tax FM's The Wake Up. Lastly, UJFM, The Continental Breakfast. The nominees for Community Radio are, first up, Groot FM, Die Groot Ontbyt. Mix 93.8 FM, Blew It for Breakfast. Radio Islam, Sabahul Muslim. Radio Kwezi, Sikusile Ukungalawa Breakfast Show. Let's hope I said that one right. And Radio Tygerberg, Ochendroy. For PBS Radio, the nominees are Motswedeng FM, Rahohoji. Munganana Lonone FM, Papama. Radio 2000, Haibo. Tobele FM, Ditlamiso. And lastly, Umklobo Winwene FM, BEE Breakfast Iondlao Ukuseni. In our last segment, Breakfast Show Commercial Radio. This is the one all the station managers wish to have. The nominees are 94.5 KFM, KFM Breakfast with Ryan O'Connor. Algoa FM, The Darren Mann Breakfast. Heart 104.9 FM Breakfast with Aidan Thomas. Kaya FM 95.9, 180 with Bob. And here we go, drum roll please. Talk Radio 702, The John Robbie Show. Well done. Now, for a more serious look at the world. Just kidding. Let's look at the nominees for the Best Business and Finance Show. This is a combined category. Nominees are Kaya FM 95.9, Kaya Biz. Mix 93.8 FM, In Conference with Michael. SAFM Media at SAFM. And Talk Radio's 702 and 567 Cape Talk, The Money Show. Our next group of nominees are for the Best Community Presenter. The nominees are Qatqa Radio, Elizabeth Ngati. Radio Islam, Yusuf Musaji. Radio Tygerberg, Beneska Janssen van Rensburg. Congratulations to all the nominees in that group. For the Best Community Project, starting off with nominees for Campus Radio. First up, MFM 92.6, The 4C Project. MFM 92.6's other project, Safety Campaign. And another one for MFM 92.6, Mandela Day. Lastly, Tax FM 107.2's Willie Winter. Next, we have our nominees in the Community Radio Group for Community Projects. 101.9 Chai FM, Yad Ayaron Radiothon. Imalakleni FM, Fighting the Stigma. Radio Tygerberg, Madiba Day, Put a Plaster on Poverty. And lastly, the Voice of the Cape, Morning Expresso, Pink Hajib Day. Now, moving on to PBS Radio. The nominees are Ligwala Gwala FM, Walter Becky, BK Sitlabele. Lotus FM, Warm Hearts Campaign. Ukolzi FM, Untrima Idada, No Siazi Idaba. And Umklobo Winwene FM, Community Project. And for the Best Community Project, the nominees for Commercial Radio are East Coast Radio's Dine with Dignity, The Big Favor. Jacaranda 94.2 FM, Good Morning Angels. Jacaranda 94.2 FM's Martin Bester Drive, Omar Sculpey meets Graham Smith. And Prime Media Broadcasting's Drug Watch. Lastly, Prime Media Broadcasting's Stop Rape. Wow, so many soulful projects. Congratulations to each and every nominee in this category. Now, in the category for Best Content Producer, our first group of nominees is combined, campus and community radio. The nominees are 101.9 Chai FM, Cyril Chabedi. Mix FM 93.8, William Scott, Bulls on Mix FM. Radio Islam, Yusuf Musaji. Tax FM 107.2's Wayne van Jaarsveld and Quintus Potgieter from the Man Cave. Lastly, Tax FM 107.2's Willem van Biljon, The Driveway. Our next nominees are for PBS Radio Content Producer. Channel Africa, Sydney Katunga Perry for Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital. Lesedi FM, Tabang Morabani for Buya Leona Mogani. Motswedieng FM's Makobedi Chaobi for Rakhokhaji. And Mungana Lonene FM, Justice Shipalane for Africa Wild Vulavula. The final group of nominees for Best Content Producer is, of course, commercial radio. The nominees are 94.7 Highveld Stereo's Greg Aldridge for Afternoon Drive Producer. Gagazi FM, Jacinta Nkobise. Jacaranda FM 94.2, Mike Savage. Metro FM, Beverly Mapangwa for 083 Sports with Marawa. And Vuma FM, Ketam Kiza for the Kwaza Breakfast Show. We now look at this year's nominees for Best Daytime Show. In the campus radio section, the nominees are MFM 92.6 AM to PM, PIC FM 93.6 The International Top 40, Tax FM 107.2's The Lunch Break, Tax FM 107.2's The Platform. Now we move to daytime show community radio. The nominees are 101.9 Chai FM, The Law and You, East Rand Radio 93.9, The Midday Show with Francois van Rensburg, Impact Radio 103 FM, The Reboot Mix, Mix 93.8 FM, Lunchtime Live with Saskia V. Lastly, The Voice of the Cape, VOC Drive Time. We move on to PBS Radio. The nominees are Pala Pala FM, Tiko Midday Talk, and Torbele FM, Sidibeng 16 Days. We now move on to the nominees for PBS Radio. Up first, Pala Pala FM, Tiko Midday Talk. Torbele FM, Sidibeng 16 Days. Torbele FM, Sidibeng Disposable Nappies. And Torbele FM, Sidibeng Feline Herpes. Ukozi FM, Nitizeka Nokozi is the last one. Well done. And finally, our nominees for Best Daytime Show on Commercial Radio. Good Hope FM, The Ozone. Jacaranda FM 94.2, Work Zone Part 2 with Barney Simon. Hey Barnes. Kaya FM 95.9, Georgie in the Afternoon. Power FM 98.7, Power Lunch. And OFM Slice of Life. Well done to everyone in this category. We now move on and look at the nominees for the Best Drama Program. Now this category has two sets of nominees, Community and PBS Radio. Let's see who the nominees in the community section are. 101.9 Chai FM, The Law and You. Radio Kwezi, Zafika Zidluli. Radio Tigerberg, Drama Season. VOW FM, The Voice of Wits, Law Focus, The Right Stuff, The Female Miners. We now move to the PBS radio segment for the Best Drama Program. The nominees are Ikwekwezi FM, Usumsamo Limpoza Imnyango, The Soapy Drama. Munganana Lonene FM, Mina Hi Mina. RSG, Die Kolter en die Kelner. SAFM, The Saturday Play, The Passion. And Umhlobo Winwene FM, Itinine Lento. Congratulations to the nominees for the Best Radio Drama. Let's move on to the Best Multi-Channel Promotion. This is once again a combined category. The nominees are 94.7 Highveld Stereo's Star Power, Chai FM, East Coast Radio, Ghost at ECR, East Coast Radio, Tragedy on Fields Hill, East Coast Radio and Jacaranda FM's The iTunes #1, Jacaranda FM 94.2's Foot in the Door, and lastly Jacaranda FM's 94.2 Lala Kakukle Tata. Now this is one of those categories where the fight is on. I'm talking about the Best Music Show category. First up are the nominees for Campus Radio Music Show. MFM 92.6 Worldwide Top 40. Pick FM 93.6, Gatskop Maandag. Tax FM 107.2's Retro Riffs. Tax FM 107.2, the 107.2 Countdown. And lastly, Tax FM 107.2 Top 30. And now for the nominees in Community Radio. First, we have East Rand Radio 93.9, East Rand Stereo Top 40. Groot FM 90.5, Miss en Miss 8 met Henry Myburg. Groot FM 90.5, Tyd Machine. Impact Radio 103 FM, Faith Fusion. And in Nanda 88.4 FM, the Best Urban Charts. Moving on to the Best Music Show in the PBS segment, the nominees are Lesedi FM, Khatalua, Lesedi FM, Local Top 30, Lotus FM, Local Vocal, Torbela FM, Torbela FM's Top 10, Latabo. Lastly, Umklobo Wenwene FM, Umkuluwi Jazz. The nominees for the Best Music Show in the commercial radio segments are 5FM Ultimix Weekend Edition, Algoa FM, the Algoa FM Top 30 with Wayne Hart, Jacaranda FM 94.2, Closet Classics, Metro FM's Metro FM Experience, and finishing off this great list, Power FM 98.7, Power Weekends. A tough group altogether. Can't wait to see who takes this year's honours. Our next group of nominees are the ones responsible to keep us up to date with the latest events from around the world. Now, this is the category for the Best News and Actuality Presenter. Our first group of nominees is once again a combination of the campus and community radio segments. The nominees are 101.9 High FM's Chad Thomas, Radio Islam's Suleiman Ravat, Radio Kwesi's Saziso Dlamini, Tax FM 107.2's Terry Adams and Pieter van der Merwe, and VOW FM Alex Cotis. Well done. Now moving on to the PBS radio segment for Best News and Actuality Presenter. First up, Lotus FM's Tarish Harepasad, Mandela Funeral, RSG's Isak Duplessis Mannenberg, Ukolzi FM Abasiki Babunda, Ukolzi FM's Abasinke Babunda Bongani Mavuso. Lastly in the segment, Ukolzi FM's Izana Mukhle Busasiwe Nkize. And now the nominees in the commercial radio segments. We've got 94.7 Highveld Stereo's Jacob Pishoka, Kaya FM 95.9 John Perlman, Today with John Perlman, Power FM 98.7 Power Talk, Talk Radio 702 and 567 Cape Talks, The Ridi Klabi Show. And to finish off, Talk Radio 702 and 567 Cape Talks, Stephen Grotes, The Midday Report. Congratulations everybody. But behind the scenes, double checking the content, feeding the latest information to the presenter are the guys and girls of our next category, the News and Actuality Producers. The nominees in the campus and community segment for Best News and Actuality Producers are 101.9 High FM, Chad Thomas and Glenda Paul for Corruption Busters, 101.9 High FM, Gary Hertzberg, The Law and Jew, VOW FM, Voice of Wits, Paul McNally, Burning Radio, and VOW FM, Voice of Wits, Paul McNally again, Municipal By-Laws and Creches in SA's Townships. In the PBS radio segment, the nominees are SAFM Education in Tune with Johanna Lechodi, as well as SAFM Terry Peto in the Spotlight, Johanna Lechodi and Zanella Jambane. Ukolzi FM, Busasewe Mkize, Izana Mukhle, got that one right. Ukolzi FM, Izana Mukhle, Abasaki Babunda, Bongani Mavuso. Umklobo Wenwene FM, Lapume Kwezi, Babwalwa Lo. And lastly, our nominees in the commercial radio segment for Best News and Actuality Producer are Power FM 98.7, Power Life with Bongani Machlungu, Power FM's 98.7 Power Talk, Lerato Makate, Talk Radio 702, Jonathan Fairburn, Talk Radio 702, Ridi Klabi Show producer, Mulwazi Tusini, Talk Radio 702, Tabisile Mbete, the producer of The John Robbie Show. And lastly, Talk Radio 702 and 567 Cape Talks, The Money Show, Cecile Basson. Congratulations. Now, our next group of nominees are for the shows that bring to life the hard work of these presenters and producers. Here we go, the Best News and Actuality Show. The nominees in the combined segment for campus and community radio are 101.9 High FM, The Law and Jew, East Rand Radio 93.9, The Midday Show with Francois van Rensburg, Pick FM 93.6, Studio Spectrum, Radio Islam, Sabahul Muslim, Tux FM 107.2 is the news platform. And lastly, VOW FM, the voice of it, Law Focus, female minors. This now brings us to the nominees for the best news and actuality show in the PBS radio segment. First up, we have Lesedi FM, Makumane Rasatuna. And Lotus FM's Newsbreak, 11 December, Maya and Jen. Lotus FM Newsbreak, 12 December, Maya and Jen. SAFM AM Live. SAFM Zuma to Eldorado Park. And now we get to the big one, the chosen nominees in the commercial radio segment. The nominees for the best news and actuality show are Heart 104.9 FM, Heart Topic. Kaya FM 95.9, Today with John Pillman. Metro FM, Talk with Sakina. Power FM 98.7, The Power Talk. Talk Radio 702, Kolani Gwala, The Afternoon Drive. And Talk Radio 702, 567 Cape Talks, Midday Reports. Well done to all you nominees. Next, we have the nominees for the best news bulletin reader. In the segments for Campus Radio, the nominees are Nadia Romanos for Tux FM 107.2, Aziza Morsipi for UJFM, Tando Zaza for UJFM, Mvangeli Nazuza for VOW FM, the voice of Wits, and lastly, Lonwaba Miso for VOW FM, the voice of Wits. Now, let's hear who are the nominees for the community radio segment. Alida Robenheimer for Cape Pulpit 729 AM, Samkila Siwe Radebe for Nanda 88.4 FM, Nondimiso Zakwe for Radio Kwezi, Tabile Ntuli for Radio Kwezi, and Kungeka Mji for Vukani Community Radio. We move on to the nominees in the PBS radio segment for the best news bulletin reader. The nominees are Martha-Lise Brink for RSG, Anne Musa for SAFM, Babakshni Chetty for SAFM, Undele Lalomela Mbana for True FM, Nokwazi Mbele for Ukozi FM, and Dikaledi Mbanga for Umhlobo Winwene FM. Finally, our nominees in the commercial radio segment. First up, Benita Levine for 94.7 Highveld Stereo. Also for 94.7 Highveld Stereo, Jacob Mashokwa. Daneo Pachlele for East Coast Radio, Lebogang Moketi for Talk Radio 702, and Tara Mini for Talk Radio 702. Well done. We now move on to the nominees in the category for the best nighttime show. For Campus Radio, the nominees are MFM 92.6, The Hit List Show, Pick FM 93.6, Gatskop Maandag Show, Twan FM's The Air Force One Show, Tux FM 107.2, The Dark Side Show, and lastly, UJFM 94.5, The Student Night Show. Moving to community radio, the nominees are East Wave Radio 92.2 FM, The Rich and Creamy Show, Groot FM 90.5, The Kitsgras and Cirkelbos Show, Impact Radio 103 FM, The Overnights with Tabo Show, Impact Radio 103 FM, The Thursday Thoughts Show, and lastly, Radio Pulpit 657 AM, The Intimate Moments Show. Well done to the nominees in the community radio segment. Next up, let's move to PBS Radio. We have Lesedi FM, The Mpahole Show, Munghana Lonene FM, The Africa Wa Vula Vula Show, Munghana Lonone FM, The Mikodzo Ya Tigwazi Show, Aris here for the Likibur Rumor Show, Tobele FM, The Tabagolo Nelson Mandela Memorial Show, Tobele FM for Tabagolo Discouraging Social Network Usage Whilst Driving Show, and Tobele FM for Tobele Student Fundraising Show. Well done to all the nominees, and also thank you for giving me the hardest name category. Let's now look at the nominees for the best nighttime show in the commercial segment. 5FM's Roger Good Show, East Coast Jacaranda FM, The Anne Hirsch Show, Heart 104.9 FM, In the Mix with Diggy Bong's Show, Kai FM 95.9, The Home with Mapaseka Makwele Show, Power FM 98.7, The Power Life Show. That brings us to the end of the nominees for the best nighttime show. Next, we look at the category for on-air packaging. Now, this is a combined segment for campus and community radio. 101.9 Chai FM, Imalakleni FM, Groot FM 90.5, Neisner FM 97.0, Radio Islam, Radio Tygerberg, and Tux FM 107.2. Looking now at the nominees for the PBS radio segments in the category of on-air packaging. Lotus FM, Station On-Air Packaging, Radio 2000, KG Show Promo, RSG, Generic, RSG, May Wereld, And lastly, Ukhozi FM on-air packaging. Then, naturally, our last group for this category is the commercial radio segment. First up, 5FM, 94.7 Highveld Stereo, on-air packaging with Shay Crop. East Coast Radio, Jacaranda FM 94.2, Lala Kakukle Tata. Jacaranda FM 94.2, Summer, Ave Masiti. Metro FM and Talk Radio 702. With that, we now move on to Best Program Innovation. The nominees are 5FM, Beats by Demand. 5FM, The MASH Lab. 94.7 Highveld Stereo, Listener-Driven Radio. EWN, Prime Media, Clean and Jerk, Spain Pain. Jacaranda FM 94.2, The Martin Bester Drive, Let's Give Keely Horns. Jacaranda FM 94.2, The Martin Bester Drive Show Baby. And lastly, Talk Radio 702, Rivonia Raid. In the category for promotions, stunts and events, the nominees for campus radio are MFM 92.6, the MFM Birthday Week. MFM 92.6, Trading Up, AM to PM. Tux FM 107.2, the 107.2 Countdown. Tux FM 107.2's Biggest Fan. Tux FM 107.2, the World Record Attempt. In the community radio segments, the nominees are 101.9 Chai FM, Yad Aaron Radiothon. East Rand Radio 93.9, Kappa for Cancer. Radio Islam, Don't Be That Guy. Radio Kwezi, Sazizo Dlamini. The Voice of the Cape launch of 91.3 FM. And Voice of the Cape, Pink Hajib Day. The nominees for the PBS radio in this category are Lesedi FM, Champions League Promo. The nominees for PBS radio in this category are Lesedi FM, Champions League Promo. Lesedi FM, O Toliting. Mungana Lonona FM, Chitonga Music Awards. Aris Here, It's for Eats. And lastly, SAFM, the SABC Radio salutes Nelson Mandela. Finally, in the category for the best promotions, stunts and events in commercial radio are 5FM, Vicky FM. East Coast Radio, Freebie Thursday. East Coast Radio, Where in the World is Damon Going? Kaya FM 95.9, Relay for Mandela Day. And our last nominee in this category is Talk Radio 702 and 567 Cape Talk, The Redi Klabi Show. With that, we now take a look at the nominees for Best Radio Documentary. Aris Here, Honeste Boer Wêreld. SAFM, Nelson Mandela and the Afrikaner. SAFM, Nelson Mandela's Palette. SAFM, Nelson Mandela's Soundtrack. SAFM, The Bush Radio Story. Umklobo Wenene FM, Long Walk to Freedom. VOW FM, The Voice of Wits, Female Miners. Now, one of my favorites are up next, the Best Sports Reporter. The nominees are Metro FM's Robert Marawa, SAFM, Muhammad Ali, Talk Radio 702, Cape Talk 567, 94.7 and 94.5 KFM's Jean Smythe. Talk Radio 702, Cape Talk 567, 94.7 and 94.5 KFM's Mark Lewis. And lastly, Ukhozi FM's Victor Molefe. We now move on to the Best Sports Show category. The nominees for campus radio are Tshwane FM, Air Force One, The Sports Terminal. TUT FM 96.2, Monday Night Sports. UJFM 95.4, The Sports Network. VOW FM, The Voice of Wits, The Sports Hub. And VUT FM, Sports Agenda. In the community radio segment, the nominees are Highway Radio, Sports with Zinhle. Inanda 88.4 FM, Exclusive Sports Hour. Mix 93.8 FM, balls.co.za. Radio Sunny South. Radio Tygerberg, Motor Sports Focus. Lastly, Radio Tygerberg, Feed Fast Sport. Next, we look at the nominees for PBS Radio. Lesedi FM, Tsa Dipapadi. Igwala Gwala FM, Commentary. Motweding FM, Mamepe A Metsomeko. Radio 2000, Game On. And Ukhozi FM, Izzy Midlalo, No Victor. Last group in the category for the best sports show in commercial radio are 94.7 Highveld Stereo's Clean and Jerk, The Sledge. Heart 104.9 On the Couch with Tapfuma Makina. Kaya FM 95.9, The Home Straight. Metro FM 083 Sports at 6 with Marawa. And lastly, Talk Radio 702 and 567 Cape Talk, Sports Talk with Udal Karlse. Well done to all the nominees in this category. We now look at the category that helps us every day to get through the traffic safely, the best traffic presenter. 5FM's Catherine Grenfell. Kaya FM 95.9, Khamotso Miso. Metro FM, Rob Byrne. SAFM, Rob Byrne. Talk Radio 702's Aki Anastasio. And lastly, Talk Radio 702, Tikwe Malobe. Our last category is for the weekend radio show. The nominees in campus radio are MFM 92.6, The Weekend Breakfast. MFM 92.6, The Worldwide Top 40. Twana FM, Supersonic Breakfast Show. Tux FM 107.2's Top 30. Tux FM 107.2's Weekend Wake Up. UJFM 95.4, The Expression. The next nominees are in the community radio segments. Alex FM 89.1, The Mixtape Radio Show. Cape Pulpit 729 AM, Kaapse Klanke. East Rand Radio 93.9, The Top 40. Groot FM 90.5, Haiki Berg Show. Impact Radio 103 FM, Faith Fusion. And finally, Impact Radio 103 FM, In Sync. Next up, the PBS radio stations. SAFM In Tune. SAFM Media at SAFM. Ukhozi FM, Umnyakazo Top 20. Umklobo Wenwene FM, Ukolo Nenkiko. And the final group in this category are for the best weekend radio shows, commercial radio segments. 5FM, The Weekend Breakfast Show with Thomas. Good Hope FM, The Weekend Breakfast Show. Heart 104.9 FM, The Top 30 with Paul Playden. Jacaranda FM 94.2, The Closet Classics. Kaya FM 95.9, The Top 40. And Metro FM, The Real Fat Joe. With that, we come to the end of the nominee announcements for the 2014 MTN Radio Awards. Before we sign off, let's hear from the chairman of the MTN Radio Awards, Mr. Rich Makondo.
As chairman of the MTN Radio Awards, I want to thank MTN for their continued support. I know that the adjudicators have most certainly seen an improvement in the overall standard of the entries as the awards have matured. I wish to thank them for their hard work in ensuring the continued success of the MTN Radio Awards. To all of those who entered, through your entries, you have shown that you are proud of your work and that you are dedicated to making better radio for your listeners, and I thank you for this. There are many more entrants that failed to get a nomination than those who are nominees this year. Those of you who didn't make the cut this year, I hope that this inspires you to try even harder next year. I wish to congratulate all the nominees. You are the best of a bumper crop of entries, and you are proof that the South African radio industry is in excellent shape and holds its own with radio anywhere else in the world. I'm sure that you are as excited as I am to find out who the winners will be on the 12th of April.
Thanks, Rich. Good luck. We'd like to congratulate all the nominees whose entries have been adjudicated as the top in each category. And I personally can't wait for the unveiling of the winners at the prestigious Gala Awards banquet on the 12th of April at the Sandton Convention Centre in Johannesburg. We'll see you there. Cheers.